So as you see in the last case, we did the impression on the day of the surgery. That means that we plan the implant, we made a surgical guide, then we place the implant, place a scan body, and then from that moment we scan that scan body, send it to the lab. The lab then produces a provisional restorations by CAD camming it and mill it on a milling machine. So this is one way to go. If you think your planning is wrong, if you think your merging of the CBCT is not so good, then you can go for an impression on the day of the surgery. But of course, the ultimate goal that we have with fully digital workflow is to plan the implant, plan the surgical guide, and have ready at the day of the surgery a provisional restoration that is ready to screw in without any mistake. So that is the goal, the ultimate goal of the fully digital workflow. And this is the case where we did that. This is a case of number 11 has a problem, and we're going to substitute number 21 by an implant-based restoration. Now, of course, the first thing that we do is to plan this before. So we do an impression and send it to our implant software. Now, implant software, we are going to produce a provisional crown and a surgical guide. So on the day of the surgery, we are going to extract the tooth and place a surgical guide. Now, of course, when we are talking about single unit implants and small multiple units, the fit of these things is almost perfect. I'm going to show you later on what happens in full mouth rehabilitation that still has some problems. Now, in single units, it's very predictable. That means that you can extract the tooth, planning your surgical guide, and then on the day of the surgery, everything falls down very beautiful. So this is the objective. So we still have very careful not to damage that buccal bone in order for you to guideline the criteria of immediate implants. And now the things that we are seeing here is that this guide is not milled like the other case, but it's 3D printed. Now the fit is better, so everything falls down better as you see in the picture. I think this is the future, this is the way to go with 3D printing impressions. Now the surgical guide, as we plan, is the same. So you have to be very careful when you see those two dots. Your implant has to go in and match those three dots, because that's where the software tells you that the implant is going to stay with the hexagon. Now, if you're going fully digital, depends on, of course, the implant brand that you have, but you just have to follow the guidelines that the software gives you. You just go 2.2, 3.8, 4.1, and then go in and place the implant. So the thing that you are going to see is that this is a fully digital protocol from Straumann. This is a totally guided situation where the implant goes in according to plan. So it reaches the end and it's in. Now you just have to take out the abutment, take out the surgical guide, and then you place your final restoration. Of course, you don't have to forget that you're dealing with immediate implants. You still have to graft that buccal bone. You have to go to the literature. That's another separate discussion. But what we now have prepared is the provisional restoration beforehand. So the protocol, we plan the provisional restoration, and in this case, it's a center incisor. Now you can start to play with your digital softwares. You can match, you do copy paste, you can do one tooth for the other. I mean, use your imagination. But one of the things that is good is that you can start to build that emergency profile and have it ready. Not to do in the day of the surgery like powder and liquid kind of stuff. Now you have ready your provisional abutment with a provisional crown. Now it's ready to go in, and you don't have to do any extra lab work. So at the day of the surgery, here we go, we are ready to go, and so you just screw in. Of course, the crown will be shorter than the final crown, because this is immediate loading without occlusal contact. So you have to take out the guides so it doesn't touch in any eccentrical movement. But now you see how quick and how fast the patient walks out of your office. So this is a protocol that we plan the provisional restorations beforehand. So you have here two situations that you saw already. One situation and the implant goes in you do an impression, you have a final work. The other is you plan your provisional restoration, so everything is go ready. Of course, between one and the other, the second one has more potential errors because you still have to rely on the merging of your CBCT scans and your intraoral impression, what can be a problem.